Parenting can be rough, and we all want to be that mom or that dad that's really patient, that keeps it together. They're calm, they're cool and collected, they speak in kind tones, they always know exactly what consequence to give a child that's going to just teach life's lessons. And then stuff happens. Let's say that you're a parent and you are watching your 5-year-old and their little friends playing, and your 5-year-old all of a sudden says, "Your hair looks stupid," and you cringe because you could see the little hurt on the face of their little friend who's just devastated by being told something. Or let's say that you're that parent who is so frustrated because you repeatedly, over and over and over again, have to ask your kiddos to be able to do their chores. And you've given them a list. You have a list, you have a checklist. In the cupboard, in the kitchen, you have all the different things that have to be done so that the kitchen looks clean. You've got it going on, and they should just be doing their chores. Maybe you're that parent who has a whole lot to do on a Saturday morning, and you are rushing around trying to get everybody in, locked and loaded to that van so that you can get on the road and get your list done, get all those things, and then somebody can't find their shoes. And then another person starts crying because they have lost their hair tie. And then finally you have that preteen who can't find their backpack to save their life, and it's right in their room at the end of their bed. Maybe you're the parent of a teenager who just did the dumbest thing in the world. Makes no sense to you whatsoever, and all you want to do is say, "What were you thinking?" In any one of these moments for any of these parents, that is when the Be a Great Parent plan goes out the window, and it's not even 8:05 in the morning. Hey there, I'm Shannon Ward.
And I'm Rebecca Bockert, and we are Colorworks. We're here to help you with all of those situations, to help you understand how to unmuddy the waters of parenting. We want to help you understand why this stuff keeps happening over and over, and we want to teach you how you can quickly, efficiently, effectively solve these problems every time. How you can actually start to change your child or teenager's behaviors, the way they approach things, the communication between you and them in 30 seconds. We are serious. That is how quickly our program works. In less than 30 seconds, you can make powerful changes in your family. Our Colorworks parenting program really works that fast.
All you have to do is we will teach you how to ask yourself in any parenting situation just one question. There's only 4 answers to that one question, which leads you to one of 4 different parenting skills. It's that fast, and we can show you that in just a short amount of time. We want to show you how fast it works on any age child, in any and all parenting situations, and for any personality type.
And that right there is what makes us so different from all the other parenting programs and books and blog posts and YouTube videos out there, because we are both personality type experts, and we are ready and excited to show you why this stuff keeps happening. And it all connects to the stress related to your personality type and the conflict that happens between your personality type and your child's personality type. That is the beginning of all the information we're going to give you. It starts right there.
So we want to share with you today in this video, we're going to start on helping you understand why this stuff happens. We are going to introduce to you information about your personality types, which include your parenting stressors. And we have a whole series of videos that are going to lead you to information about how our program can help you. So today we're going to talk about your parenting stressors. In 3 days, we're going to share with you our next video, which is going to talk all about kids and their personality type, why they do what they do, and how it gets to you. And then on March 28th, we want to especially invite you to a Facebook Live that we will be sharing with you how, when all of this stuff happens, what you can do about it, and how our Colorworks course can help you with information to be able to turn things around in 30 seconds or less.
We'll give you a little brief bit of information right now. There are 4 basic personality types and 2 interaction styles. And when you combine that together, you get 16 very unique personality types. We often refer to it as the bowl of fruity flavors. And each one of these types has its own very unique set of stressors and needs and the way they are motivated, and most especially, they each have their own unique communication style. We use colors to identify our different types because they're fun and they're bright and they're easy to remember. So let me go through those 4 colors for you very, very quickly. So the first one is the green color type. These are our logical thinkers. They are very intuitive problem solvers and actually enjoy solving problems. Not people problems, but they do enjoy solving problems. The next one is our blues. Our blues are intuitive feelers, and they're very people focused and enjoy being with people and near people and around people. The next color type will be, our third one is the golds. Our golds are structured traditionalists, and they are very prepared planners. They're all about following lists and schedules and consistency. The last one, our 4th color type, is going to be our oranges, and our oranges are our freedom fighters. They are all about action-oriented, being in the moment, and they are the go-getters of the 4 color types.
So these descriptions, while really brief, are so interesting when it comes to understanding why things are happening in your home and between you and your children. But these descriptions that we've given to you are just scratching the surface. And in our ColorWorks course that we are going to tell you more about, we get way into a lot of detail about how these color types pertain to you, how they help you not only with your understanding your motivators, your stressors, and your communication style, but also what you bring to the parenting table that's great about you. And that is just in Module 1. So we want to talk a little bit now and give you some information about each of these colors and their unique parenting stressors, which again is just scratching the surface. At first, Rebecca's going to tell you about the golds. I'm going to share with you a little bit more about the greens. Then she's going to talk about the oranges, and I'm going to finish up with the blues.
So I'm going to jump in with the gold parents first. What are some common things that stress a gold parent? Well, anything that looks like chaos. Gold parents are very frustrated with kids who don't follow instructions when they're asked, or who purposefully break the rules, or who even unintentionally break the rules. Because golds are just hardwired, black and white, to know right from wrong. And they believe that kids just should do the right thing once they've been told what the right thing is. Or even that children should be able to understand naturally what the right thing is.
Absolutely.
They need kids to be honest and responsible with them. They want children who do things the first time they're asked. Now, honestly, when does that happen with young children? Almost never, right? They also like it when things run on time, on schedule, are predictable, people follow along with the plan, and again, when does that happen with young children or teens? Almost never.
Exactly.
So our gold parents are stressed in all of those situations. They also need children to stay on task and follow through with things they've been asked to do. Just like we said earlier at the very beginning of this, when they've been asked to do chores repeatedly and nobody's listening and following through with it. That's very frustrating for our gold parents, and it leads them to a place of stress.
Absolutely. So maybe you see yourself in some of those, that those are your stressors. But we have 3 more to go, and maybe you'll see yourself in some of the other ones too. So let's talk for a minute about a green parent. A green parent really needs a child to think things through. They need them to be logical, and they need them to be low emotional. Because for a green parent, it's high stress when they don't know what's really going on emotionally for a child who's falling apart in just a puddle of tears on the floor. That's really hard for a green parent. A green parent needs a child or a teen to be logical in their choices, and can often get frustrated with them when they don't choose fast enough, even though they themselves are not necessarily a fast chooser. And so that can be very, very frustrating for them. They really want to, as a green parent, keep their child safe or save them from experiencing the consequences of making the same mistakes that green parent did when they were younger as a teen or a child. And yet, that's not always necessarily the best thing for the child. So a green parent can get really stressed out if they're having to watch their child experiment with something. They oftentimes will try to go and stop it or rescue, or it can turn into a lecture when that green parent is under that kind of stress, trying to fix the problem for the child. They also expect a level of maturity that sometimes isn't a capability for a child, for that aged child. And so a green parent can get really stressed out when, again, that child isn't thinking or living up to some level of maturity or competency or ability that that green parent thinks that the child should be able to accomplish. Another thing that can happen too is that a green parent often wants a child to really follow their advice and counsel like that, like really quick. Like they're the kind of parent that, they're the color parent that are going to want to have a child say, oh, wow, really? Okay, mom and dad, I understand, I get it, I'm going to change immediately. Well, that doesn't
When does that happen?
Yeah, when does that happen? But that green parent secretly, kind of even unconsciously, may want that kind of a response out of a child. And one of the ways that we can help is to help that green parent understand, that's not going to happen, but how can you get a better response faster? So maybe you see yourself in a little bit of the gold or the green. Now we're going to go on with orange and blue.
So I'm going to jump into the orange parent. The orange parent is going to get frustrated with turtle-moving children. Kids that are moving slow, making decisions slow, getting themselves ready for school slow. Anything that involves slow. Oranges are all about go, 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 which is funny because they can often procrastinate and put things off. But when they want other people to be in action or when they want themselves to be in action, they are fast movers. So watching children move slowly can be incredibly frustrating for an orange parent. Another thing that ties right into that slow moving or slow processing is going to be children that are processing very slowly through emotions. Certain color type children will need a lot of time to get through their emotions or to talk about their emotions or to just flat out experience them. For an orange parent, it's like a form of torture. The wallowing, the hours of crying, the drama of slamming doors and stomping feet. That can be very annoying and frustrating for an orange parent who wants to say something along the line of, suck it up, buttercup, you're fine, and move on. So that is something that orange parents will see in themselves whenever we start to describe them. Orange parents will also have a hard time disciplining children and can, but not always, avoid it. Now, it's not because they're worried about hurting their children's feelings or making them sad. In general, orange parents are so intensely protective of their own freedom, it is difficult for them to steal the freedom of anybody else, including their children. That's one side of it. The other side of it is, when we discipline as parents, and we all know this, we are inherently sucking our own freedom in that action because we're then going to have to babysit that consequence. Whether it's you're grounded from your phone or you're grounded from the TV or whatever, we then take on the responsibility to babysit that. And for an orange parent, that's a huge freedom suck. Not only did I have to engage in a long conversation about what you did wrong and why you have to have a discipline and blah, 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 I now have to spend the next week babysitting that consequence. For an orange parent, that can be very, very difficult.
Oh, and it can be so hard.
So painful.
So maybe you see yourself in the little bit of the orange parent. The last one I want to share with you is about the blue parent. The blue parent, remember, is our intuitive feeler. And so they are going to be stressed out by anything that is conflictual, when there's conflict, or when there's a lot of upset, when there's a lot of crying. And the thing that's hard for them with that is it's not that it's going to be frustrating. For a blue parent, what a blue parent experiences when people are upset and there's conflict is, oh my gosh, I need to fix this and I need to fix it right now. And so it's high stress. And that can be really, really hard for a blue parent. Also, sometimes it's inappropriate for a parent to swoop in and rescue, and the blue parent often does that just in an effort to get the conflict to go away. So conflict is really high stress for a blue parent. Anything that's mean or anything that is disrespectful or disruptive can be very, very stressful for a blue parent. They love to be near their kids, and so another thing that can be stressful is when a child or a teenager pushes them away, either emotionally or physically. That can be really hard for a blue parent, and they actually feel rejected, and they feel uncared about, or that they're doing something wrong. Blue parents are often very hard on themselves with that inner voice that they hear about their parenting skills. They can be really hard on themselves. Another thing that's really stressful for a blue parent is that when they do get to a higher level of stress and they need people to move and get things done, Actually, we'll teach you more about this, but their second color kicks in, and they can get very frustrated if their second color is orange that people aren't moving fast enough, or they can get very frustrated because their second color is gold and if kids aren't doing what they should. And so you've got the compoundedness of the second color for all of the parents, but blues especially, it shows up in when they need to move. And that can become a time when a very patient, loving, kind sounding parent, blue parent, all of a sudden goes whoosh, and they go into command and control and upset, and then afterwards they feel completely guilty because they've yelled at everybody. And so when they need kids to move and they're not moving fast enough, a calm, kind blue parent can all of a sudden go into crazy mode. Also too, a lot of times a blue parent will experience a lot of stress when their child isn't sharing their feelings in the middle of something that's upsetting. And not all kids are wired to be really good at discerning what their emotions are in the moment. And so for a blue parent to have a child who can't figure out what they're feeling in the moment can be high stress for that blue parent. Because the blue naturally is pretty good at figuring out emotions. So to have a child who isn't or won't or doesn't do that, high stress. Another thing is that a blue parent needs family members to be kind to each other, to have a low conflict level, to also be sensitive to other people's feelings, even if they're not in the family. And so when a blue parent, like that example at the very beginning, when that blue mom saw her 5-year-old say something that was kind of meanish to a friend, that makes them cringe. That's so stressful for a blue parent. And then finally, a blue parent wants help around the house. Now, a gold parent is going to want help around the house because everybody should do their part. A blue parent wants help around the house because it's collaborative, because we're working on this together as a team. We're in this, it's everyone's home. And so when people don't help at home, that is high stress for a blue parent when they don't get the collaboration from all the other team members. So there's just a quick rundown of just the stressors in parenting situations for these different 4-color parents. We go into a lot more depth in our class, and we can give you so much more information about your color. So hopefully you see yourself in one of those 4 colors, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. When you take our course, we're able to tell you so much more about your color needs and your stressors. And so hopefully you saw yourself in 1, possibly 2 of those list of stressors. Also too, hopefully what you could see from all of that is that a lot of times your kids or your teens' behavior is going to be your stressors. What's really interesting about understanding more about your personality type when it comes to parenting is that it also explains why certain behaviors in your children or your teens are going to push your buttons, but they're not going to push the button of your spouse or your partner or the nanny or the grandma. And so it can really help go a long way in understanding why certain kids' behaviors is really hard and stressful for you to deal with, but not for other people.
This will also help your kids to understand the stressors and frustrations, or as the teens like to say, their triggers, between each other. Yeah. This will enlighten you to why the siblings are fighting. Why does this one fight with this one always and never fights with that one? Mm-hmm. Will help to unravel that mystery as well.
Absolutely.
Many of our families also find this information enlightening and comforting, because for the first time, in a very unique way, you're getting someone like Shannon and I patting you on the back and saying, "You're not a bad parent, you're just a stressed gold, or you're a very stressed out blue, and we can tell you where it's coming from and how to solve it. You're normal, and there is 100% a solution to this."
Absolutely. And we really want you to understand that this program, we have worked with thousands of parents in actually even different countries, yes, all over the United States and in different countries. We've had a chance to work with military families and with families just like yours over the last 13 years, and it works. And we just want to share with you that this is just the first part. In our next video, in just a few days, we're going to share with you more information about your children's colors, about their stress behaviors, and why those can be some of your triggers. And then when we tell you, we've already told you now about your stress behaviors and stressors, we're going to tell you about your kids, and then together that will lead us to our Facebook Live when we share with you how our Ask Be Do and 3 words help you with a solution for fixing all of this when stuff happens. So stay with us on this journey. Another thing too is if you're interested in learning more about it right now, there's going to be a link below that you can go to our website, learn more about it. And if you're in already, then you can click into our ColorWorks circle and start the course right away.
We're so glad to have you.